Well, I'm Satyendra Pakhalé. I'm here in Amsterdam, and age doesn't matter. And I hope I remain in that mental stage for the rest of my life. I grew up in Washim, that is right in the center of the state of Maharashtra. Yeah, and then I went to school at the early age to Nagpur. And I was very quickly identified, thanks to my parents, to that I had certain, let's say, curiosities and interests and, let's say, aptitude. And that was tapped and I was sent to the right school. So I was very much into making things as well as drawing, but also interested in sciences and technology. So I had education which is a blend of both of those. It was more like a open space. Open space means open in very literal, figurative sense as well as metaphorical sense. Intellectually very open, socially very engaging at the same time. Lots of streams of people from field of literature to people who are concerned with lots of social issues also engage and coming at home. So the home was open space. It was more of a public space, I could say, even that lots of people came and it was a confluence of ideas. My parent generation, there are a lot of people who are in teaching. So my both parents have been teachers, yeah. And a lot of people engage in education, but let's say my older cousins, a lot of them physicians, doctors, quite good ones, yeah. It means the truth. To take your curiosities very with a great interest and cultivate them. That's at the very primary level of being educated. Is not the idea which often people think educated means acquire a certain kind of degree, but education literally means being curious and trying to find the answer to that curiosity, feeding that curiosity. When I was growing up, there was a school called Technical High School, which was a high school like any other high school where you do all sciences and maths and languages and everything, but you also do workshop technology and engineering drawings and stuff like that. It was, let's say, what you call the education which prepares you for the university, at the same time education which prepares you to have certain kind of insight, technological insights, And that was identified. So I was sent to that school. I was very happy to be in the school like that. And then as I was in the school, I discovered a book, a tiny book by George Nelson, on design. And I read that book in one go and I ran to my professor and I said, this is what I want to become. So he introduced me to an architect who studied at the Industrial Design Center, who lived nearby actually. And Ravi Nafre. And he told me, yeah, this is a profession I want to do. And I was doing drawings. He encouraged me to do the portfolio and so on and so forth. And then I went to IDC and everything was then, there was never a question of anything that I didn't like or I had a question about as a profession, yeah. There was once, because next to IIT campus, if you know the campus, there are two lakes, the Powai Lake and the Virar Lake. And just behind there is a national park, Borivali National Park actually. And it so happened that one of the cubs, the tiger cub, got into the campus. So this is the story. And as the people we used to work at the design center, we always work late in the night. So after the dinner, we'll walk to the campus and then walk to the department and then we work late. And it was really for quite some weeks that this tiger was walking, that was known. And some of us saw it like walking in the bushes going, because there are big roads. And those who don't know internationally, the campus is like almost like a European city, you can think about. We used to go in the groups to make sure that nobody's alone, actually, to make sure that nobody's going alone, because there was this kind of really big supportive system, in terms of even when you have a deadlines to finish, other peoples will come and help you, and so on and so forth. That was always there. So, well, finally the tiger was caught. They successfully, without harming anybody, and put him back in the national park. But there was kind of a sense of excitement. I would not say fear per se, because it was not a fear that there was excitement that, hey, can we spot it? Well, nothing really happened. Nobody got harmed eventually. But that was a kind of excitement. If you tell that internationally to people wouldn't believe that a tiger could get in the campus. Ceramic is very unforgiving material. It's not an easy material. It is metal. You can do all kind of stuff. With the ceramic, it has a memory. It goes back. It doesn't want to become what you want it to become. And it's also very, very difficult material. It is not a material that, there are all kind of things can happen, because it's a living material, And when you fire the material, it can deform, it can crack, it all kind of thing can happen, actually. Here it is, pencil. This is Apsara pencil I used since I was a child, 6B here. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I would not be mad. I can do without as well. It's not a problem. I'm not hung up on anything. So I had situations where I wanted to engage and make certain thing, and I didn't have any tools, and I had to make those things happen. I had that situation in Brazil. I had that situation in India very clearly, and I still made things happen. So no, it won't be a problem. Yeah. It lasted 7.5 years, actually, to be precise, and I discovered, in fact, rediscovered this bell metal casting, which is a lost wax process. And I went to that time to a place in Bastar, which is in Chhattisgarh. These people who cultivated their craft for so many generations, and that craft is not, in case of the specific community Muria people, that's a part of their living, actually. They have beautiful poetry about it. This wonderful process, which I indulge in making and trying out certain things. But of course, again, I was not interested in making traditional stuff. I want to make something bigger, something which has different language, at the same time a possibility to take that technique to another level, And it took a long time, actually. It took, first we have to rethink the process, because traditionally they make natural beeswax, and you make a spaghetti out of it. So I had to rethink the possibility of making a material, get that material made, and then try to do the casting. And the casting 4 times failed. It was a huge loss and a lot of frustration. And also at one point when we were backed up and we had a possibility to go to any facility to get it done, most of the people didn't want to do, because they didn't want to take a risk, So finally, one small facility near Milan, they took a risk, and finally we made it happen, The book is quite a big, was a big project, and still a big project. It just finished just before the pandemic, and the book was really the first time to give an insight into thinking at the same time, the complexity of creation at the same time. Well, there are many, actually, because it's difficult. If I just tell you one, the other will get upset, So no, it's really the like-minded people meet and you engage and you sort of grown together in a many ways, There could be many, actually. I don't know, and I don't worry about those things, because you see, there are not many. If you say you're from Japan and you're an architect or designer, there are no question asked. India still is not known for people to having this kind of profession engaged on an international level. So there could be many, actually. So I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. There are many things, actually, but the one thing I do that for very many years now is to is to do a basic aquarels in the morning, when I get to the studio. And sometimes it happens that you're so busy and there's so many things overlapping that there's no time actually. So it is something I've been doing for a long time, and I consciously chose to do aquarel and not something else, because it has the same, let's say, um, conception like a life. You can't go back. Once you make a stroke, you make a stroke. Explaining, I always have a pencil in a hand. That could be a strange habit. I don't know. Well, there is always those narratives happen all the time, actually. And if you look at the design world over a very long time, you see those things happening, coming and going back, coming and going back. Actually, that's actually more than a design narrative. I think it's more of I would say, uh, marketing terminologies used to propagate or sell more or whatever. And they have really a shallow life, not so long life. They could be called as a trends, they could be called as some isms, or whatever. And they associate with the people, they associate with those people, want to reject them. This happens all the time. And the good ones, they continue and cultivate their way and sensibilities for a long time. And we have many good examples of that. I had a great possibility to meet early on, way back in '93, with Hector Resources. And I met him at the University of Stuttgart, and I was still student then. And later I met him many, many times. And, Sotsas was very much fond of India. He'd been to India many, many, many times, all the way till the end of his life. And a lot of his work has a deep-rooted connection with India, actually, so... And I understood them, and he gave me many books. I mean, some books which are rare books, which are out of print, like his whole ceramic work done by Fulvio Ferrari. I mean, all these people I get to know through him as well. Fruits. The only thing is everybody has to walk their own way, and they find their way and go. And because there's no one way, actually, and often it so happens that people have these cliches about this is success, this is not success, this is good, it's not good. So I would not give any advice, and I don't think the young self of me will listen to my advice as well. I think that happens every day, but often there could be misunderstanding on a level that one tries to get to somewhere, the other people see that's not possible. And that becomes and that happens in a project many, many times, yes. I'm a curious being. I'm always engaged in thinking about the possibilities, and that sometimes gets me in trouble, because you always see something what is not there, which other people don't see. And that could be a trouble for some people to accept that, because they don't see that possibility. And I think that happens often, that kind of a conflict of, let's say, idea, vision, or perception often happens to the people who think in a different manner. And I don't see that as a problem, but so far it so happened that whenever there was a conflict, eventually people got it and they become great admirers of that. Yeah. I think the day off will be the day when you pass away, actually. That will be the day off. Amsterdam, it was easy to go around. It was easy to travel, easy to... here as well, the people accepted me. They were giving me possibilities in terms of, I was invited to head the master program and so on and so forth, things happened. So no, there was no why Amsterdam. It just happened. It was a go with the flow kind of thing. Yeah. Amsterdam, what I genuinely like is a human scale. It's really a scale which is genuinely accessible. It's almost one dear friend architect, he called it a campus city. I think it is engagement with the different people. That is more a result of not feeling or having those conversations and possibilities and engagement. I think that is That is something that leads to, yeah. I always had a workshop in the studio, so both. Of course, Belpuri. None. Absolutely romantic date. Definitely seaside. Yeah. Both. Taking time, enthusiasm, necessity, also necessity, unnecessarily hyped, without which you fall. To design a watch, I really don't care. That's you. I think that's the question. I think I have still some time to live and some things to do. So let's not worry about that right now. I think we all need to steer up the future, not me alone. I think everybody, every person in every part of the world has to. And I think, and that means is to understand what is not correct in a society. And every generation has a possibility to redefine and restructure the society.